yo. Strategies to share, learn the way to market, put your business up there. Tune in every day, digital marketing, yeah, we know the way. Come learn and slay. Build your brand strong, make your money long. With the podcast groove, can't go wrong. From SEO to social, emails that entice, grow your audience big, take our advice. Tune in every day, digital marketing, yeah, we know the way. Come learn and slay.
All right, happy Monday. We are here, Digital Marketing NetWurk, Mickey Black, Jennifer J. We're back talking about segmentation. So I think this is one of the things that, and I looked at it this week and it was like, oh, talking about segmentation again, like what more can we say about segmentation? And then I dug a little deeper and there's a whole bunch more. Like actually, like I discovered like 20 different ways to kind of like strategically set up your segmentation. So I've got a couple that we can run down today and dig into the segmentation deal. You game?
I'm game. Let's go.
All right. Okay, cool. So first off, and it's probably an obvious one, but behavior-based segmentation. So based on somebody's purchase history, click history, segmenting out your, people that have visited your website versus, come in via a QR code or SMS or something like that. But then there's demographic segmentation, which is a big deal. So not so much in B2B, like when you're, doing services, you don't really think about this, but when you're doing things like retail, when you're doing things like personal services, so say for instance like hairdressers or retail clothers, you really want to segment the behavior based on the demographic, whether it is man, woman, older, younger, a student going back to school, people with children in their different life stages. I never really thought about that demographic segmentation layered on top of that. But what do you think about that demographic piece?
No, it's really important because you never think about different things that go on in your business, right? And so you could really get granular with your segmentation on that aspect. So you mentioned the demographic based on where they are, right? So for instance, let's just say you have a group of customers that's maybe being affected by some disaster or something like that. You can segment your list and send out messaging to them, right? And especially if maybe you have a certain product that only will affect certain people, right? That's important. So for instance, I come from Ohio. It's the snow belt, right? Where we lived at. You wouldn't sell me snow shovels here in Atlanta, right? And so that's where it gets important, because if you can hone in on that and drill down on the messaging for them, then they're more apt to purchase. You're more apt to be able to see. Also, let's just say you're traveling with your business, you're doing shows. You can segment, if you segment it right, you can say, okay, how many people do I have in, let's just say, Philadelphia? Let's blast a message out to Philadelphia and the surrounding city radius to let them know we're coming to this show and blah, 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 blah. So those are just some use cases to kind of get people's minds going around why this is important and how you can further segment on your list and when you can use it.
Yeah, I like that example you gave around the shovel. So if it's like, let's say you're a retailer like Home Depot, you can use that sort of regional segmentation to really recognize what sales you should run in what part of the country, because we're not experiencing the same thing. That's super key to keep in mind. So the other piece, and this kind of actually kind of teases into the next piece, was the predictive purchase segmentation. So not necessarily. So sometimes you can base it off of demographics, like if you're where you are is snowing, you can assume you're going to buy, shovels or snow-related items. But sometimes, whether it is parents who, when it's back to school time, Staples and Models or whatever retailers are sending you those back to school specials, because it's almost like they can predict that you're in that population. This event is happening to your group, and that's going to be the next purchase that you have in front of you. Have you encountered anybody doing that sort of thing? This was the first time I really thought of predictive purchase segmentation.
No, but I can tell you I am a victim of it, right? So it's not predictive purchase, but for instance, I'm from Ohio. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, right? This is broad. So because I'm in Atlanta, for whatever reason, they feel like I still don't want to watch the Browns. So I can't even watch the Browns, even if I sign up for certain streaming apps, because now they know my location. So they're targeting me based on my location and won't allow me to see that. So sometimes it can be a bad thing, NFL, and 'cause whatever, but sometimes it could be a good thing, right? So it's football season, predictive, right? People are buying tailgating things, they're having football parties. So if like, for instance, Alabama is really, really big on college football, you can segment and target them with Roll Tide merchandise, right? You can segment and target people who are in Atlanta with Atlanta stuff, right? So that's just one example of how you could do that. I like how you said with the college student staples, things like that. So depending on your past purchases, right? I had a software send me something and say, oh, I give you a prime example. When you go on Instacart or even DoorDash, they have this thing honed in. They will tell you, like, hey, your last purchase was this, so we're showing you similar items to your last purchase. Or they analyze your shopping habits and send you information or ads based on what you previously purchased.
Yeah, and another one is Amazon that does that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's a big deal. So I've got a couple more. Next one is simple, but then I've got one after that that I'm interested in your thoughts on. So the next one is engagement level segmentation. So really just segmenting your list between people that are highly engaged with your brand versus people that are not. And you might send them different messaging. So, like, say, for instance, someone who's highly engaged, you might just go directly in for the sale because they want it, they're interested, they're getting a closed messaging. Someone who's not might get a different sort of re-engagement series of messaging where you have to build on your promise a little bit more, or you have to do a little bit more sales. But the one that I'm interested in your opinion on is this acronym. Have you ever heard of RFM?
No.
So it stands for recency, frequency, and monetary segmentation. And it's really where they're using AI to analyze customers based on how they purchased in combination with how often they purchase and how much that purchase is. So really, it's like using all of those metrics in combination to try and figure out like the real VIP. So specifically, someone who has purchased recently and typically purchases a lot, and they purchase big. And so typically you will identify those people, and those are the people you'll want to get into your premium loyalty program. So say for instance, if you're like Bloomingdale's, so Bloomingdale's, like my wife is in a premium program because she purchases a lot.
I'm putting her shopping habits out here for
just, I'm just using an example. So she gets invited to like the parties where they give you a little champagne and there's the music and you can private shop and all those things because they know you're a shopper who shops all the time. And when you shop, you're going to spend some dollars. And so they're okay giving you the premium experience or giving you those exclusive deals because they know you're going to act on it. But I thought that was an interesting one.
No, it's very interesting, and that is really good from an analytical standpoint. It reminds me of buying intent, but very, very detailed on the behavior of that buying person. And so, yeah, that gives you the opportunity to put them into a totally different category where you can market to them, just like in your example offering, hey, we have this VIP event coming up we want to invite you to. It reminds me of the casinos do that a lot. So they analyze your gambling habits, and
Mm-hmm.
they invite you to certain parties, certain events that only you can attend if you're a high roller or things like that, or you will get like different little things. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, my brother is a big gambler. So we have crock pots, we have comforters, throw, just all kind of stuff that they give to the high rollers, right? And the different benefits. And so they wouldn't know that if it's not segmented, and those things come as an email, right?
Yeah.
But then further, the customer service representative that's assigned to that person is now able to call them because they show up on their list to say, hey, call this person, make sure they come, blah, 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 because they spend a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they come to this event. So it can be done two ways, not just through email. It can be done in a customer service fashion where now you have someone reaching out via phone to those people for a more engaged invitation.
That is interesting because they've got all the information there. That is really cool. That is really cool. So that brings us to our last one, which is an interesting one. So life stage segmentation. So it's really where you're segmenting your buyers based on life stage. So say for instance, if you're a bank and you've got like different cards, you might have a one card for a student population versus one for an active high earning professional versus someone who's just starting out building their credit. You're
Mhm.
looking at life stages. And then even further, you've got mortgage products. So people that are looking to buy a house might want to have a mortgage and that sort of different financial instrument.
Mhm.
How would do you have any clients that are integrating that sort of life cycle, life stage segmentation?
Yeah, so I built out a system. It's funny you mentioned mortgage. I built out a system for mortgage and realtors that does exactly that, right? And so what happens is, as they are interacting with them, let's just say someone wants to buy a house, but they're not ready because they need to fix their credit, right? And so now that person goes into a bucket, but what happens is they get follow up and nurturing on that credit repair pipeline is what I call it. So same for mortgage, same thing, credit repair pipeline. But what if someone purchases and after the purchase, I asked the mortgage broker, well, how long after the purchase do you want to hit them up about refinancing? And so they were like 6 months. Okay, so we build out a pipeline 6 months. We're going to start sending you information about refinancing and, what the rates are doing and how this affects you. So that's really huge in that industry if you take advantage of it properly and build out the correct parameters so that you do stay in front of those people and you're able to hit them at that point.
Yeah. And I like how long range the thought process is. Like you're thinking months down the line, setting it up so it's not up to your memory because you'll not remember. So you have to really automate those things so those things are in place. I like that. Those, and I think so. Man, I thought we were just going to have 5, but it looks like we have like 6 or 7. Let me, I'm just going to run down the list again. So we started out talking about behavioral based segmentation. That was an obvious one. People that have clicked or visited your site versus not. Then we jumped into demographic segmentation. We're using, age, gender, income level, location, those sort of things to really segment who needs what. Like if you're in Ohio and the snow is coming down, you can sell them shovels. If you're in Atlanta, you can't. So, and then beyond that, using predictive purchase segmentation. So looking at segmentation strategies where they're trying to predict based on past behavior, sometimes based on where you purchased and maybe you need that thing again, but really using that behavior to predict what you're going to have next. And then we talked about engagement level segmentation a little bit, just segmenting based on how high the engagement level for that user has been with your brand or your product. But then we dug deep into the RFM. So I'm going to quote that again: recency, frequency, monetary, and really using those in combination to kind of get at your VIPs for those luxury experiences. And then you've got life stage segmentation. So like your broker and your mortgage broker guy, where he's got the different nurturing streams for the different stages where people are at. And you can really kind of nurture that person from one stage to another. So that was a huge amount.
Yes. Yes.
Felt like I was talking for a long time.
It is okay. You broke it down. They have it there in a list, and we give the people. We may not give you what you want, but we give you what you need.
What you need. Preach. All right. Anything else for the people today on Monday?
Oh, no. Happy Monday, and make sure you have an automated day.
Do it. Oh, and then before we leave, so when is your next
my next webinar is Thursday, September 19th.
Okay.
Thursday, September 19th at 2:00 p.m. We are talking about breaking down how to use AI automation and chat in your business so that you stay relevant.
All right.
So
September 9th.
Yep. You could go to systemsactivate.com to get it or text systems to 470-517-7006.
All right. Do it. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Peace.
Well, that's all for today, folks. A big thank you for tuning in, and let's give a round of applause. Yes, I can hear it through the screen. To Jennifer J. for her brilliant tips on systems automation. If you want to take your business to the next level, text the word systems to 470-517-7006 and discover how automation can do the heavy lifting for you. Go on, you know.
Listen up now. Gotta tell you about a show, Digital Marketing NetWurk, with a secrets flow. We got the tips, yo, strategies to share, learn the way to market. Put your business